In this video, traders, we're going to have the highs and lows of Tesla over 2018. Stay tuned. Hey traders, a warm welcome to you. So, Tesla, controversial stock. Elon Musk, love him or hate him, you either think he's an absolute genius and he's saving the world and he's doing these revolutionary things, or you think he's crazy and erratic. Investors who are trading Tesla stock or investing in Tesla stock have certainly seen quite an interesting movement in Tesla. We all know it's rallied a lot over the last multiple years, but 2018 was really a year where it just had so much news flow that it didn't really know what to do with itself. It was up, it was down, it was back, it was forward, and if you kind of forgot about the whole year, you're almost back to where you were at the beginning of 2018. So let's have a look at what's caused the dips up and down and troughs and look at the news flow as part of the chart. So I've put the chart on here, and listen, this is as close to scale as we can get. Get yourself up your chart and have a look if you fancy doing it and being super accurate with it, but this kind of gives you an idea of the flow of news and how the chart's moved up and down. So point one, about $300. They announced that they'd lost 675 million. Bearing in mind, Tesla is burning cash at a massive rate, which is a hefty loss, and it was a huge amount more than they'd lost the same time last year. So that really spooked a lot of the investors, and we've got to drive down from that point, like 350 down to just above 300, but rally back up over the later part of the month and push back up to 350 again. Then we kind of drifted down, and 2.2 here at around the 250 mark had basically, well, the share price, the low was 256. That marked the low and kind of the peak news of this autopilot crash. Unfortunately, it was a crash in which somebody was killed, and it turned out that Tesla was actually on autopilot at the time, which wasn't really great news for the technology, for the stock, even though it could be avoidable. It's just bad PR for the company, regardless of the fact that some poor person's died. But regardless of that, it's for the company perspective, it's not that great. Number three, then we kind of rally, push back up, and we're hitting this $300 level. And basically Elon Musk said, hey, you know what, we've produced 2020 Model 3 cars. It's a little bit less than they were hoping for, but it wasn't far. It was something like 450 units less than they were hoping for. So they actually got quite a long way. And actually that really beat the naysayers. We got a rally up here, and we kind of held some gains above this 300 level, or around this 300 level, because the naysayers, or the bears, I'm not taking sides either way here. The bears' argument is, they can't produce this amount of cars, the quality's no good, the CEO's erratic, all this kind of stuff. And when he comes out with news that shows that he's hitting production, shows that people are feeling happy about the whole thing, then that tends to cause a bit of a rally in stock. Number four, we kind of dipped down here now to the 275 level. You can see their share price, 275. They lost 710 million in that period, which is an awful lot of money. But, then again, this is the bear argument, is he's burning through so much cash. It's got to get so much more investment, so much more financing. A bull's argument is, hey, you've got to burn through cash to get to where you want to be. Look at some of the companies like Amazon, etc. So it's whenever we see something about massive amounts of cash being burnt through, bears take hold of it and give it a bit of a grip. And when not so much cash burned through, of course, the flip side happens. So that caused a little bit dip here back in kind of May time. We dipped down to around about 275. Then we've got Musk tweets out that he was taunting shorts, and we kind of rallied up above 300 again. Not really massive moves, but he's taunting shorts. He's saying they're going to get roasted, and he made a reference to his flamethrower, or not a flamethrower, that he's got out, which was kind of funny. Then he picked up $10 million worth of shares personally, which is quite a good bet on the future direction of Tesla. That gives the whole thing a bit of a chug up. And he does other things, like he cuts staffing to be more efficient. He buys another $25 million worth of stock, and this causes the share price to rip up here to 375, which is about the highest give or take that it's been, and it was doing really well. It looked like it was going to really take off. And actually, from a trader's perspective, that tweet there, when he said that something was coming and shorts were going to get roasted, did take some time, but ultimately you can see, it pushed the share price from 300 to 375, which is a pretty decent move. Anyway, so he's cutting staff, he's buying some more shares himself. Then 0.7, we kind of dipped down to 350 level again. He produces 5,000 cars per week, pretty good, hitting targets. Number 8, this is when the kind of bad PR comes out for Elon Musk. He seems to go a little bit erratic on Twitter. He called this cave rescuer Pedo guy, the famous Pedo guy tweet, making some other things on Twitter and kind of commenting and perhaps being a little bit too involved in Twitter than the bulls would like. Bears grab onto this. This dips the share price down to near the 300 level. Now we have an interesting tweet. Again, Twitter seems to be his favorite method of communication. We have a private funding, the famous funding secured tweet. And if you see all the memes around on social media, you send funding secured at 420, thinking of taking Tesla private. 420, funding secured. That was his tweet. Of course, the stock rallies, a lot of shorts are covering, thinking what's this all about. Stalls out at around this 375 level again. And we drifted off since then. And now there's been a speculation, there's a criminal investigation into Tesla about that funding secured tweet. And last time I looked, I was doing this video, we're sitting around the $300 level. So we've basically done nothing except had a lot of fun to the upside, a lot of fun to the downside. The guys who are winning so far in Tesla this year are the traders who are selling premium trading options. The people who are buying call options are getting roasted. The people who are buying put options are getting roasted. Shorts aren't happy. Bulls aren't happy. Obviously, you're happy if you bought here, if you're a buyer, or you sold here for a seller. But generally speaking, you can see the mean is sitting there almost around 300. The price is rotating around that 300. One thing to say for the bull argument, there's a heck of a lot of shorts in this stock. If it does start to rip up high, let's say something happens fundamentally, there's a catalyst, whatever it may be, they may well end up getting squeezed. But then of course the bear argument is if it runs out of money, doesn't get financing for any more, and doesn't get any more financing, can't produce any more cars, then that's game over pretty quickly. So solid bull, solid bear argument. No position, clarifying that, and again, not recommendation to trade, of course, as usual, all the videos. But you know what, it's interesting to see this play out, and you know, it's just a pure case of supply and demand at the moment, and how news can move and affect investors and traders' sentiment. Then it wears off and something else comes back. Great thing to study, great kind of stock to watch, even if you're not planning on getting involved. All right, guys, that's Tesla's stocks, wild moves over the last year. Take care, keep the risk managed, whatever you do. Goodbye.